Hi. The hair is crazy. Went outside with wet hair. Anyway, I this is my second video, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about more about the inspiration behind doing this. So I touched briefly on different identity and themes, and my goal of getting back to myself. And so there have also it's kind of a perfect storm that has created this moment. And I just want to take a second to talk about those things, the factors that have come um, into play, into making me feel like I'm at a place to do this. So my first inspiration to start this was kind of a lot of my friends are doing the work right now. I think this time has kind of slowed the world down, and so a lot of people are kind of self-reflecting and working on themselves. And I saw more and more of my friends starting to try things like this, and I thought, well, why not me? I am just as valid. Maybe more scattered, maybe not as fancy, but I think we do this thing a lot where we compare ourselves to other people, and then that stops us from taking chances. Versus we should just know that there's room for everyone and kind of elevate everyone to get to whatever point they want to be at. So yeah, there's just lots of my friends are doing this kind of thing. Then I also recently saw Ready Player One, which I had read the book a while ago. That might be my first movie recommendation. Little bonus feature in this video. Basically, everything is it's a future where everybody is living online through virtual reality, and very rarely are they interacting in real life. So the idea of creating an avatar or a character and kind of allowing myself to be a different person and push myself in different directions is really intriguing, as I've mentioned before. So that movie kind of solidified that theme that has been happening in my life, and I just watched it this week actually. So it kind of pushed everything into motion. Generally speaking, I've always been interested in different creative outlets. I've never been good at picking a vein of art to be focused on. I've always just kind of played. When I used to have to create, people say I'm an artist or I'm this or I'm that. I used to say I'm a creator because I can't pick. I like to write. I write a lot of poetry, especially recently. I was a photographer for a while, and I still love photography, and definitely still put a lot of what I've learned into other art forms. However, that's not my main focus anymore. And so I think ever since I did back in Philly, a very long time ago, I did a camera exchange where everyone bought a disposable camera, took a self portrait, and then kind of documented their lives. And then everybody sent me their cameras, and I exchanged them and mailed them back to other people. And so you got a complete stranger's life. So I'm kind of interested always in playing with creativity and kind of feeding off other people's energies, but also giving a lot of energy and to helping people tap into that. Again, I'm pushing just new boundaries, so that was a huge inspiring thing. Was just kind of to start doing more, stop making excuses. And the last time is that the times are changing, and uh, the older generation growing up, they chose a job, and that job was available, and they would just go into that job. They would study for that. And then the younger generation, like the people younger than me, they're kind of comfortable with this format. We grew up, people my age, we grew up, you know, before the internet, so we remember what it's like, and we remember like don't talk to strangers on the internet, don't get out too much information. And I think that the kind of ideas that were put into us by our parents aren't really translating into the new times. And so I think um, this is just a way of kind of adapting and bridging that gap, and just pushing myself in that sense to kind of think outside the box, think outside of something comfortable, and just kind of go for it. I ended a little bit abruptly on the last part, because I had a train of thought that I lost somewhere in talking. But one last thing that kind of inspired me to do this was the isolation. So I've touched on it before, but I think everyone in these times are kind of feeling a little bit more lonely and feeling a little bit more isolated. And I think that a lot of the things that we're feeling generally as humans, like our emotions and stuff, they feel very personal. But I think the more you talk about them, the more you realize, it's a common thing. Um, I think there's a lot of people who don't know if they feel like they know who they are, or they want to try something new, but they have too many friends who know the old them, so they don't feel like they can do that. Um, there's lots of different reasons for why we don't open up more. But I'm realizing that the things that I'm feeling and I think are my experience alone, and I'm kind of carrying that burden alone. It's not. It's not. It's not true. It's something I've made up in my head to make me believe that I'm the only person feeling this way. So I think as I talk more about different themes or kind of wherever this ends up going, the more I talk about it, I think the more I'm going to find comfort in the fact that I'm not alone. It's not a. It's probably a very generic experience that a lot of people are feeling. It might be nothing special. Everything might just be average, and that's okay. But the idea of just taking that weight off and kind of expressing and sharing with other people who just are also secretly going through the same things, I think is just a really good feeling. So I'm hoping that that also shines through in wherever this goes. On that note, I have collected all of those thoughts, and that was kind of the inspiration by everything. I don't know how often I'll be making these videos. Hopefully, not too much. I don't want to overwhelm anything. I might also start a YouTube and kind of just throw up more there and decide if I want to throw everything on here. I'll update as I go, whatever I choose. But otherwise, just check out the playlist and have a good weekend. Ciao.